Hello, this is a message for someone who deals with a lot of fears and anxieties. And if this message is for you, you're the kind of person that goes through the worst case scenarios all the time. And this might be almost compulsionary, okay? Like you might have a mental tendency to do that, okay? So I have OCD, so I have a tendency for my mind to ruminate and go over things over and over again, right? And check things over and over again, things that I already know, things that I already have proof of. My mind has a tendency to want to check and recheck and recheck and recheck again, right? And so that's just how that works. So you may have something like that. It doesn't have to be OCD, maybe something else, but whatever it is, it makes you, it could just be, your quirky personality, but you have this tendency to obsess about worst case scenarios when you're feeling insecure, when you're feeling out of your depth, when things feel unpredictable, and especially when you're trying new things, or especially when if it's something important to you, okay? So it seems if this message is for you, that's the case, that's all the elements in place right now. You are stressed out. You is something that really matters a lot to you. You feel a little insecure. And so you are picturing all the worst case scenarios over and over again, and they're haunting your mind, and you're starting to have trouble telling the difference between logical assessment of the situation and paranoia and anxiety and just imagining the worst case scenario ever without any actual proof that that's actually what's taking place. So if this message is for you and all of this has resonated, what's happening here is that you sense there's danger, okay? In a situation you're involved in. You sense there's danger, but you don't know what this danger is actually. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting you're not correctly assessing the danger of this situation. You think it's something that it's not. And what I mean by something that it's not is that, you're not sure what it is. That's why your mind keeps coming up with all the different scenarios, because you're actually not sure what the danger is, but you feel it. So at different times, you're thinking it's different things, and your mind is jumping from one place to the other. And what it's trying to do is trying to protect you, right? Because you have this primal sense of danger. Now, you're afraid of the wrong things here, though. There is a danger going on, but it's not any of those worst case scenarios. It's something that you will only be able to assess once you're calm. You'll only be able to know what's the real danger in this situation once you're able to assess it from a completely calm nervous system where your fight or flight responses are not activated. So if this message is for you and it's been resonating, you need to give yourself some kind of break, some kind of mental timeout, where you give yourself a couple days or a scenario, an environment that is very low pressure, where things are very predictable for you, and where things are very calm and easygoing, and again, important, predictable. So don't watch new movies. Just watch all things that you know how they're gonna make you feel, for example. Don't watch any new content, actually. Just repeat content that you know how it's gonna make you feel. Be in an environment you know very well. Be only with people you know very well who are currently in a very predictable mood. And once you're able to give yourself some time in that 24 to 48 hours, then you'll have a completely calm nervous system, and then you assess the situation from that point of view. And from that point of view, it will become clear to you there is in fact a danger here, and it is not what you've been worried about. There's something to be afraid of in this situation, and something you should be very careful about. But it's not the things you keep thinking, these worst case scenarios that keep coming to your mind. So it might be something more complex, subtle, and nuanced that you could ever contemplate in such a state of fight or flight. Okay, what I'm getting is something like you're looking at what could go wrong. For example, like let's say a tornado is coming and you're like, what could go wrong in terms of my house, in terms of resources, in terms of all these things. You're not considering, what if the tornado doesn't pass our house, but it just traumatizes us, how we've dealt with the possibility of it happening. Yeah. So that's the kind of nuance I'm talking about. Okay, so I hope that was helpful.